Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the One Perspective to Another podcast. I'm your humble and gracious host, A. Sanders, here with episode 191. Starting over, starting back. You know it's been a long time when AK start texting me talking about just something. It's just a reminder that I haven't done a podcast in a long time. But it's been a lot of shit, a lot of things going on. We're in the different months of the winter cycle, but Mother Nature's cycle, entering into the fall season. We about to get that extra hour of sleep coming soon. Got some holidays coming up, another holiday in another month, and we're gonna get into these super holidays and Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. Everybody loves the back half of the year, so we're getting into that. But with that also comes the times of change and the times of just, an election coming up too. I didn't want to do another election-ish, politicious kind of episode because I thought episode 189, talking about the isms in politics, I thought I really put a nail on the head, or a head on the nail with that one, but I don't think I did. Maybe it's because I'm actually inside of those things now. You just can't escape it. It's really hard and it's really difficult. But I say all that to say, this episode was supposed to be about the ideologies and the fundamentals of practicalities in politics. I didn't want to do it in politics, but I just felt like it was perfect for me to do my rewind and listen back on my episodes and see, because this only happens once every 4 years where people are really in tune with shit, or I don't even want to say in tune. I just want to say even have the awareness to be aware of X, Y, and Z. Because there's I've done podcasts about the macro versus the macro and understanding things and learning things. And when it comes to the politics, like I said, with my own unbiased understanding and learning towards things, it comes with its pros and it comes with its cons, because just the way that I think and the way that I process and the way that I try to absorb things, I'm never listening or talking to be right. I'm listening and talking to understand. And that way of thinking, I don't want to say it's frowned upon, but for me personally, it's just the best way to differentiate and be able to compartmentalize whatever topic or whatever happenstance or circumstance is going on, because you can never sway somebody one way or the other if they don't have the whole picture. You can't sway anybody who's already gearing towards another side. And I seen another video and it said, I want to say it was Jay-Z, but he's I wasn't in the space to receive information, even if it was correct, because that's the flows of the intangibles. And I talk about with situational awareness, everybody's on their own path, their own course to what they find and what they believe and what everybody else understands around them. So even if you send somebody correct facts or correct information, if they're not in a space to hear it, then they won't hear it, even if it's good or if it's bad. But then that kind of led me to this ideology and practicality in politics being a balancing act, because as a society, that's what we have this liberty as Americans to be able to do, is have ideologies and be practical about what goes on here, because we are in a place where I don't want to say it's allowed, but it's just, it happens in different spaces. It's a democracy. That's what people in this world, or everybody wants to a certain degree. But the humanity of it is that not everybody gets that opportunity. So when you have people who are shaping and molding things to be disrespectful on purpose, to take away from people on purpose, that doesn't always fit well with people, and it won't give people the kind of I don't want to say guidance, but like, I don't even know what a word is. But what I'm trying to explain is that it just gives people more safety to be inside of that thought, to be aware of things. But like, I say all that to say, like, I did it to be talking about how I'm listening to understand. And the way that I understand things is that everything is a policy. Everything from your local, from your county to your state, from your city to your county to your state to your federal to your world, like everything is governed with policy. So like these ideologies that we have and these balancing acts towards those things, like it makes it really hard when people want things instantly, because those things have to be lobbied for, they have to be negotiated, they have to be put together, and not everything that everybody wants from an ideology isn't going to be taken into account, because the only goal is to make things just work. And if it's not working, then it's fine. Like people, I guess that's the practical side, the practicality side of it, because there's no need to put out water and put all these supplies out there if nothing. Not saying that the supplies and stuff like aren't there in general, but there's no need to move them to a certain area if that's not happening or if it's never going to happen. Another example is like, I'm just freestyling, so I don't really have no example, but like an example is if it rains and you know that it's a hole in your roof, you're going to put a bucket where the hole is, so when the rainwater drops, it drops into the bucket. But like, you got a bucket and it's not raining, but you still put the bucket there. So it's like, is it a bad thing to put the bucket there when it doesn't rain? Or what about if you don't even have a hole in your roof to begin with and you still put a bucket there, but you're still aware of it? I have no clue what I'm trying to explain, but maybe somebody can tell me what it is. But like, in my mind, and the way I see it, like there's no need to prepare for something that isn't going to happen. Like, definitively. There's no hole in the roof. Yeah, it may be a hole in the roof in the future, but you have the means to get a bucket and put it there when you need to. But having the bucket just stay there just in case, like that's what insurance is, just in case some shit happens. But like, even the insurance company will put the means in order to validate your claim, to make sure that your claim is legit, to make sure that your claim isn't fraudulent, and push it forward. Then if you get your shit busted or you get into an accident, then it will be fixed. Like, it's a order of operations to things, and I think people ignore those order of operations when it comes to certain things. And like, I put it back to the role of the ideology, because that's people's moral compasses. That's people mobilizing force and having supporters and having people in little factions and creating communities, because it can inspire people to take action for those causes. And it's hard because a lot of those ideas they are intangibles. And then on the other hand, you have the importance of practicality, which is the policies that make things or put in present tense with things that are tangible, like with the actual political system, the actual economy, actual people. Like, I think the idea that I'm trying to explain is really muck in my head, but I still understand the concept that I'm trying to just get out. But like I say, like sometimes these episodes are just in my mind and just getting shit out, because it's been a while sometimes you just gotta get shit out and talk it out to yourself. If you're listening, then you listening. And then it's like the common ground is the balancing of those ideologies and the practicality, finding common ground. And I relate this to politicians because it's going on right now. But like politicians often seek to find common ground between our ideology principles and the practicalities I cannot talk. When it comes to government, this can involve making compromises or finding creative solutions that address both the short-term and the long-term needs of society. And that's the thing, like there's never an absolute towards a problem. There's just different way to do things. Like you can't have a one shoe fit all thing for everybody, because that's what makes living in America kind of beautiful at the same time as it is like evil and ugly, because you will never be an individual. You will always be part of society. You can be an individual in your own ideologies and practicalities of your own life, but like to the United States, you are a number or a part of a census or a part of a community or a part of a whatever, a union, whatever it is. But like the singularities to us are inside of those ideologies when it comes to our culture, our race, our history, our music, our jobs. Like we are a part of those ecosystems within America, and that's what makes America so free, because we have the ability to have those things inside of the United States and not other countries and republics, whatever else is around the world. They don't have those things. So it's like that thought is just like it's mind blowing to me, because not saying that I never thought about it before, but it's weird when you get older and see that that's what people protect and that's what people fight for. But then at the same time, like you have those people who protect and fight for those things while we fight and argue with one another, which goes back to the other episode with the isms. And all them isms are the things that take place inside of those ideologies, because we don't always agree and we can't do things one way or the other. Like there has to be some kind of a middle ground. That's how you gotta learn to balance, find a win-win situation for certain things. And it just always leads me back to like, or my thought is always, it's a web and it's really hard to decipher what's what and what's not, and where things could be better and where things can't be. Because if you do one thing, you're going to affect certain people, and if you do another thing, you're going to affect and upset another group of people. So it's like really hard to find that, or the importance of balancing those ideologies and the practicalities, like not just in politics, but just like in everyday, like being at work, being on a football team, being on your after work basketball team, and trying to do stuff. Like there's always a collective goal that we all have to get towards, and then there's what we want and how you buy in. And that's where like coaching comes in, and being a good manager, and being a good person, and being a good listener, and being a person who understands, somebody who sees the whole picture. That's why we have roles. That's why everybody can't be a manager. Everybody can't be a supervisor. Not everybody's meant to be. Not everybody's meant to be the head coach. Some people just need to be the assistant coach. And it's just a whole line of nuance inside of shit that I don't want to say I took for granted, but just like finding out. And even in my own experiences, just dealing with those people and dealing with those kind of circumstances, it makes it really, I don't want to say disheartening, but like, I don't even have a word for it. That's an emotion I have to further unpack. But one of the things is very frustrating, because, like I say, you don't listen, or I don't talk and listen to be right. I talk and listen to be understood. So it's like, I'm never going to be evil towards you because of X, Y, and Z. Like I speak and I listen to understand. So that's why I say it's the importance of that, and that's why I just have my own perspective and my own perspective podcast to not address that, but like speak to it, because I'm sure it's a lot of people who are in that situation, not only in it being the election cycle, and that's the only thing that people are talking about right now, but when it's 2025 and it's the middle of the summer and it's the relationship, or it's the family member, or it's the thing at work. Like, all these things are still a part of that web, and they have their place. And it's, how do you attack that? How do you find middle ground? How do you keep your peace? How do you find places that make you feel good enough where you can speak up, where you can have a balance within yourself? And I tie this all back to my original ideology of situational awareness, knowing when to do what. Sometimes you just got to take notes. Sometimes you just got to take a L. Sometimes you just got to push harder. And knowing when those moments are is still something that I work on till this day, because I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm wrong. A lot of the times I'm wrong. But for the moment, it's not about being right or wrong. Like I said, it's towards understanding. And if you can leave any situation at the end of the day with an understanding of, it's going to be better than the apology. It's going to be better than it being, I don't want to say it's not better than it being rectified, but in certain situations, the understanding is more important than finding out other shit about things. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but if it do, I appreciate you for listening. Just got to put something back out there. Been a while since I potted, but like, that's just what's going on in my mind. That's what I be thinking about. That's what I be reading about. All these governments and policies, and see the world changing and shit. We just gotta get a little growth, a little more understanding towards what's going on. But like always, thank you for listening. Tell two friends to tell two friends, and I will catch you on the flip side, and I am out.